All right, so welcome to Seaford. We are going through the process of a bit of a renovation, a bit of a value add strategy with this particular purchase that we've purchased on market. 3-bed, 2-bath, 2 living spots, brick house. Come along, let's go along through the journey. So I'm here with Neil, one of my clients to say. Neil came in conversation after hearing my investment story on pizza and property. He was initially feeling a little bit confused, had built a substantial profitable portfolio, not too sure what direction to move next. He knew he wanted to be hands-on, definitely wanted to be a bit more active in types of the purchases and strategy. So Neil, do you want to give us a bit of an update to, I guess, where your journey, how it's been and the challenges you were facing before we crossed paths?
Before we crossed paths?
Yeah.
Made a wee bit of a portfolio over in Perth.
Yep.
Where I'm predominantly just focused on cosmetic renovations. This was COVID-ish time, so when the market was pretty bearish in Perth, that sort of worked out relatively well for me. And then moved over to Melbourne, where I was sort of thinking, maybe I should get back on track with the property investing, because I was up to 4 and I sort of thought, well, that's me done. I'll just keep doing the rest of my life and then I'll retire on those 4. And then I said, no, actually, maybe I don't want my retirement to be 55, maybe I want it to be 45 or something like that, and just give myself the options to pick the sort of careers and stuff that I enjoy rather than potentially what I need to earn. Shannon, my partner, and I purchased another 2 investment properties, one in Perth and then one down in Geelong. And the one in Geelong was a real slog to get over the line in terms of borrowing capacity. Obviously interest rates were hurting us, and I said, no, we can't finish here, we need to keep going. And by this point I was very, very deep down the rabbit hole of looking at market data and what's next, and I wanted to diversify my portfolio and move out of Perth. And I said Melbourne's a place to be, but the purchase price for a house, which is pretty much the only type of asset I'm interested in, the holding costs and the purchase costs in Greater Melbourne is a wee bit higher than it was in Perth. And I sort of said, how do I unlock the next step, I suppose, financially before actually finding the asset? And that's sort of where I reached out to Ollie.
And I still remember that you had gone to, 10 brokers, or you gave me a list of 10, and unfortunately none of them could really untap finance or untap equity of what you had built in Perth. And with the right connection, with the right broker, you guys went through a bit of a journey of a little bit of restructuring, a little bit of refinancing, putting and extracting equity out to really solidify yourself in a good equity-based position, funds available to then project into doing bigger renos, taking the Perth property portfolio to the next level in terms of a value add type of purchases. So walking through the master bedroom, showers behind us, vanity and toilet, enough storage coming across through. We've got some nice natural light coming through. Obviously the curtains will ultimately get changed to proper roll-on blinds. Large living spot. Obviously we can see again, good amount of natural light coming through. What we've done is we've done a bit of a minor tweak of the opening just to give that a larger sense of openness and appeal. That was a fantastic idea coming across from Neil, the client. Right behind us is what in the process we've gutted out the existing kitchen. We're now basically preparing plaster work or replastering the wall to allow for the new kitchen. So really what we're looking at is going to be an L-shaped kitchen sink going across here, opening up to the backyard. And ultimately this spot is going to be fridge spot and additional storage space. Dining space across here, second living going to the back here, and we've got our 2 rooms right behind us. Walking through, we've got the bare bones of what's going to become the main bathroom. The shower was piss poor workmanship, basically patchwork, so we're in the process of getting all of this out and making it and building the substrate from there on. Laundry was initially sitting here, toilet was sitting here, partition wall, which is a non-structural, has now come out, allowing us to open up this space into a 4th bedroom space. Obviously what's going to happen here, we're going to start blocking off and closing off the door here, still giving us our window for natural light and ventilation as per BCA requirements or National Construction Code requirements. And so this is really going to add that additional value uplift to this particular house that we've purchased.
kept looking, and then I came across Ollie and I said, hey, maybe this guy knows somebody that knows somebody. We were able to refinance the portfolio that my partner and I have and crack on with the next project. And with each project, I wanted to be a little bit more, maybe not risk-taking, but I was willing to increase the size of that project in terms of what that looked like, the hands-on.
And I'm personally glad that we settled on this, albeit a couple of challenges that came through along the way. But like with any value adds, any larger renovations, there is always an element of risk in these type of projects. So the key is really understanding budget, understanding cost-effective measures of what really adds value to the house to then strategically make decisions.
That's right. So I was pretty clear on what I wanted. So, you looked at a couple of newer, smaller properties in sort of the areas that we'd identified, and I was like, hey Ollie, 350 square meters, it's not going to cut it for me. We need something with a little bit of land and something that I can really sink my teeth into and have that value add component. So we had a few trials and tribulations. It was at 2 a.m. auctions for a property when my partner and I were in Germany and
shopping Christmas markets while I was on the phone making an auction happen.
Yeah, and it was a stressful time because my employment situation was evolving, which gave me a really tight time frame to achieve the next property.
Working pretty much under the clock, every day counted. And it was obviously during the Jan period where it was very quiet, there was leftover stock, not very great stock that was coming across, that was ticking all the right boxes. Yeah, the stars aligned. It was this property which was on market, which we managed to secure, and we're now in the process of taking an ugly duckling into a beautiful 4-bed, 2-bath bedroom.
If we were leaving that as is, you pretty much had to do what they did, which is have that island sticking out.
But
and then you're losing all that space.
Yeah, that's what I told you. Finish it off.
It's dead space.
Yeah. So it's an out kitchen across, straight through. That goes back in, range hood goes above, kitchen sink faces this way. Yep. If you want to spend money in pantry, you can. If not, just leave it open.
But to warrant cutting this, you needed to ensure that you had that full L. So that
smart way of just adding.
So basically,
adding two 45s and that working.
I was only like 50 mil short or something like that. So
that's coming off, right?
Yeah, that's going to come off.
Once you rewire to,
Yeah, so that's servicing that power point.
Yep.
Yeah. So Sparky was in yesterday. He'll chase it in, and he'll probably drop it in through the roof.
All you've got to do is send the raw measurements and they'll design your kitchen in to the module sizes that they've got.
Yeah. The flooring through here is good, and all the bedrooms are good, like really good condition. Like I toyed with trying to put the floorboards back, but then once we enter this area or that area, we're gonna have the same problem, right? So even though my preference would always be to just sand anything that's good for the purposes of just having an even finish, it's just gonna have to be, unfortunately, hybrid flooring over the top of the good rooms to cover the bad. Oh, you mean rip up the floorboards?
Yeah, replace it for here.
To be honest with you, my experience has been that it's easier said than done to pull up the floorboards in a good enough condition to relay them.
Because you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then pretty much it just follows across. If it comes out in one piece.
But even if it does, right, I've got the same problem in there. So then I've got a choice, do I put hybrid flooring or do I carpet it?
How's the journey been for you?
Yeah, good. I'm pleased at the moment. I'm sort of being able to pick my own work whilst doing this. And I'm really enjoying sort of not doing the 9 to 5 and learning a lot. So it's been great, yeah.
And I think one of the biggest learnings I'd say for anyone going in these projects is your ability to problem solve and be solutions driven versus problem focus driven, because jobs of these size and scale and complexity, you'll always face yourself with small incidentals that can either throw you off track, but you've got to know how to pick yourself up and just realign and bring yourself back on track. And these are one of the challenges that you have faced previously, and everyone goes through that. I go through that, every investor goes through that, and it's the beauty of being able to tackle these projects.